File Test 2. Listening to.
So, most of you may know that this week is National Friendship Week. So, I've decided to talk about friends, and more specifically, to explore the concept of BFF, or Best Friends Forever, which is kind of trendy right now. But what does it actually mean? And is there too much pressure to have a best friend? This is supposed to be a lighthearted talk, but I think it's important to acknowledge the recent reports in the media related to loneliness. Research suggests that as a society, we're lonelier than we've ever been before. And while the traditional image of loneliness is that it only affects the elderly, the high rate of loneliness among young people is actually really shocking. This may not actually mean that young people have fewer friends. It's more about the pressure they feel to have successful friendships. In fact, I recently read that over 80% of millennials reported that they felt like they had to live up to the expectations of others. And if they didn't, they would become socially isolated. That's actually pretty shocking. And I suppose that's where I come to the BFF question. Do we really need a best friend? And if so, do we need to prove it with a BFF hashtag? Whether we actually have a best friend, or a small group of close friends, or a wider circle of friends and acquaintances, we all feel alone at times, and nothing will ever change that. So, there's something I have to admit, and I think I'm being pretty brave doing it. I don't have a best friend. This has not always been the case. In high school, I had a best friend named Charlotte. When we met in the first week of school, we just clicked, and we were together all the time after that, from then until our senior year. After school and on weekends, I'd either be at her house or she'd be at mine. If we weren't together for some reason, people would ask where the other one was. We wore similar clothes, and we liked the same bands and the same boys. But then one day, she came to me in tears and told me she was leaving. Her family was moving to a town far away. Well, I was so unhappy and lonely. We'd tackled our teen years together and spent all our time together. How would I survive without her? When she was gone, I didn't really know how to be on my own. And I soon realized I hadn't really taken the time to get to know my classmates very well. They all had their own established friendship groups. After a couple of months, I gradually began to hang out with other kids and made a really nice group of friends. But I still felt like there was something missing. Looking back now, I think it was the habit and security of having a BFF. Charlotte and I have kept in touch, and we still see each other every year or so. But we don't have a huge amount in common as adults. Just a lot of fun shared memories. So, I don't have a best friend. Not because I can't find one, but because I no longer feel the need for a BFF. I have a mix of college friends, old roommates, coworkers, and people I've met through various activities over the years. I like them all for different reasons, and between them, they cover every aspect of friendship: shared interests, emotional support and advice, quiet nights staying in, and wild nights going out. None are the best, maybe, because I get what I need out of a combination of all my friendships. Am I missing out on the whole best friends forever phenomenon? Well, no, I don't think so. In fact, I think maybe it would hold me back these days because I'd miss out on these wonderful, diverse friendships I have now. Sure, I don't spend as much time with any of them as I would if I had just one BFF, but I don't think that matters. In fact, in a way, it makes life easier because I don't have to drop whatever I'm doing when my BFF calls. I can be myself and make my own decisions without having to discuss them with someone else. The thing I've learned about friendships is that they change and develop as our lives do. And that's okay.